Hello, high level listeners. We're here for a very special festive episode of our Advanced English podcast this week. It's all about Christmas Day that we celebrate on December 25th of each year. Now, Christmas is celebrated over the world, and many people have their own celebrations. So, we thought that we'd talk about our own family's experience in each country where we grew up. Before we start into our holiday topic on Christmas Day, let's tell you a little bit about who we are.
My name's Mark. I'm the British teacher and the British voice here on High Level Listening. So I'll share British phrases and expressions that you're more likely to hear in the UK, as well as use my British accent to help you get more familiar with people from that country as well.
And I'm Kat, or Kat Teacher, the American teacher here on High Level Listening. I'll be focusing on some pronunciation, plus some fun and interesting holiday traditions that my family celebrates each and every Christmas.
Like always, we'll share our different experiences on Christmas Day. We'll read a short passage each about what we usually do, and then we'll go through the language, the vocabulary, and interesting things so we can give you more examples and hopefully help you explain what you do when it's Christmas in your country or understand people talking about Christmas in English. Kat will go first. The question is, what do you usually do on Christmas Day?
So, for my family and lots of Americans who celebrate Christmas, Christmas Eve is filled with lots of excitement. Our stockings are filled up with stocking stuffers, and it's tradition to leave a glass of milk and cookies by the fireplace for Santa Claus and his reindeer. Sometimes mom and dad let me and my siblings open one single gift on Christmas Eve, but we usually save the big gifts for Christmas morning. It might have been a dream, but I could have sworn that I saw my dad putting presents under the Christmas tree, but he swears it was Santa. Since my family is not really big on cooking, after we open gifts Christmas morning, we find a restaurant that's open and go out for our Christmas lunch. All right. So, Mark, in the UK, what do you usually do on Christmas Day?
Christmas Day is all about family and food for Brits. We usually kick off the day by opening presents, everyone gathered around the tree, tearing into the wrapping paper. Then it's on to the main event, Christmas dinner. We tuck into a huge meal, roast turkey, heaps of veggies, and all the trimmings. After stuffing ourselves silly, we end up vegging on the sofa with our bellies full. It's the perfect time to watch some telly or classic Christmas films, just relaxing and enjoying each other's company. The day is mainly about being with family, eating way too much, and just having a lovely, lazy afternoon together.
Oh, that sounds super nice.
hmm Yes, so as well, slightly different from usual. Usually our scripts have more or less the same story, but in this case, they're slightly different.
Hmm.
Again, that's because the way our different countries celebrate Christmas is a little bit different. So when we go through each script, we'll compare and contrast our different cultures as well as go through some language and phrases. So in the States, is Christmas a family holiday for you guys?
Definitely. Now, for my family and lots of Americans who celebrate Christmas, Christmas Eve is filled with lots of excitement. So, I'm not sure, it's probably not the same for every family, but I think over the years, especially as I was a kid, Christmas Eve, which is the day before Christmas, December 24th, Christmas Eve or the evening before Christmas, this started to get a bit more popular than the actual Christmas day. So it's definitely a time to celebrate with a nice dinner before Christmas Day, or some families might open some presents a little bit early, or even celebrate or go to a special religious service. Now, Christmas is a Christian holiday, but it's also a commercial holiday, meaning that you don't have to be a Christian to celebrate Christmas. It is a commercially celebrated holiday. And for some people, like my Mexican friends, Christmas Eve is way more important than Christmas Day. Oh,
Hmm.
definitely Christmas Eve is probably a little bit more fun and exciting than the actual Christmas Day. So,
Hmm.
what about you, Mark? Is Christmas a family holiday for you and your family?
Hmm. Yes, definitely. Christmas Day is all about family and food for
I see.
Brits. So, yeah, that's different from the US. In the UK, December 25th, Christmas Day is the big day.
Hmm.
I know, yeah, some different countries in Europe open presents on the 24th or have a special meal on the 24th, but in the UK, almost everything happens on the 25th. The
Interesting. Okay.
food, the presents, everything like that. Yeah, so it's all about family and food. Um, it's all about is the main point of the holiday. It's all about friends. Friends are the most important thing. Valentine's Day, it's all about love. Love is and romance is the most important thing. Easter is all about chocolate. Halloween is all about dressing up and in costumes and being spooky. Christmas is all about family and food. So those are the two things that people are looking forward to and expect Christmas Day. In terms of Christmas traditions, do you have any special traditions on Christmas?
So, traditions are things that you do year after year that are important to your family or important to your culture. So, do we have any special Christmas traditions? Oh, yeah. So, one of the first things is that our stockings are filled up with stocking stuffers. Our stockings are filled up with stocking stuffers. Now, our stockings are kind of like big sock looking things that we hang by the fireplace. You might have seen a picture and you wonder why we're hanging socks next to the fireplace. That's become a tradition, especially with my family. My grandma knitted and sewed our names into each one of the stockings. So I have one that says Katerina, and then my brother and sister have one, my mom, my dad, and even at one point our dog had a stocking. So we hang up the stockings by the fireplace, and usually over the month of December, we slowly put some small gifts into the stocking, and those are stocking stuffers. So we really want to stuff the socks with gifts. Okay, so we have stocking stuffers. Now, we're not allowed to open the stocking until Christmas morning, but it's always filled with little gifts, maybe like candles or cards or little gift cards, or they might be filled with little things like candies and chocolates. And so we usually kind of touch the bottom of the stocking to see if it's got any more gifts in
Mhm.
there, but we're not allowed to peek. We're not allowed to look into the stocking and see because that would be breaking the rules.
Mhm. Get on the naughty list. But in the
Exactly.
stocking, it's not Santa who fills the stocking. You see the stocking getting filled
So
up.
with my family, it starts after Thanksgiving. We put up the stockings, we put up our Christmas lights, and we put up our Christmas tree. Now, occasionally we'll see a couple of small gifts under the Christmas tree, especially if we receive them from friends or family. But with the stocking, we used to just randomly put things in them. So we kind of look over every day and we say, is there something in my stocking? And we go and we touch the stocking and we try to see if something's in there. And then we're like, okay, it's kind of hard. I'm not really sure what, okay, maybe. No, wait, that's the same one that was in there. So it's just a mystery surprise. But yes, usually on Christmas morning, the stocking is stuffed full and some items are coming out the top. Okay, so those are our stocking stuffers. It is stuffed full of little gifts.
Nice. We had stockings too, but they went in our bedroom. So I had one, and my sister had one, and it was in my room. And I would wake up on Christmas morning on the 25th. The stocking would then be full of gifts. On Christmas Eve, the stocking was empty and thin. And then in the morning, suddenly it blew up with
Completely stuffed.
chocolates. Yeah, it's stuffed with chocolate, usually chocolate.
Nice. And what about you? What kind of gifts do you give on Christmas?
We usually kick off the day by opening presents, everyone gathered around the tree, tearing into the wrapping paper. So, to kick off, we usually kick off the day. Kick off actually comes from sport. The start of a football match is the kick off, but we also use that word for parties, meetings, and other things. When they start, you kick off the meeting, you kick off the event, and we kick off Christmas by opening the presents. Everyone's very excited, especially kids. So they tear off. To tear, literally, if I take paper and I rip it, I tear the paper, and the gifts are wrapped in special wrapping paper. So it's very satisfying and easy to tear into your gifts. Kids are so excited, they want to see what's inside. They just tear into the gifts like little animals. Adults can do that too if it's a very exciting gift. But yeah, it's a sort of childlike energy when you're tearing into your gifts. Okay. So Christmas is mostly about the food and family. There's presents too. Are there any other Christmas traditions that you do in your family?
Now, we have a fun tradition, and I remember most Americans doing something like this. It is tradition to leave a glass of milk and a plate of cookies by the fireplace for Santa Claus and his reindeer. Now, Santa Claus is the big guy dressed in red and white, ho, 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 with a big beard, and he's the one that's going to deliver the gifts, deliver the presents to kids all over the world. He comes down the chimney and he drives a flying sleigh, a very special sleigh that is driven by flying reindeer. Okay, now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little silly, but Santa Claus gets very hungry on this trip around the world. So we feed him milk and chocolate chip cookies. And of course, every morning, Christmas morning, we see a big bite
Mm,
taken out of the chocolate chip cookies and the milk has been finished. We know that Santa has come to visit us and he's left us some presents.
mm.
So that's kind of a fun little tradition that we would do. We would place the milk and cookies by the chimney, by the fireplace, and Santa Claus would come and snack on them. And also the reindeer, too. I think the reindeer also eat chocolate chip cookies.
Right. Is it a cookie or a carrot? Can you leave a carrot for the
You know,
reindeer? Because it's
actually, we used to have a joke that the reindeer would eat the carrot on the snowman's nose.
oh, that's a good one. I like
So,
that.
that used to be kind of a joke, but yes, if you want to, you can leave carrots or celery on the side, especially because no one likes to eat vegetables around Christmas. So you can bring these raw vegetables for the reindeer to eat. But I always thought that the reindeer liked chocolate chip cookies more because I like chocolate chip cookies more than carrots.
Right? Maybe they're powered by chocolate. Maybe that's why they can fly.
Do you call Santa Claus Santa or do you have another name for it?
Ah, yeah, there is another name for him. In England or in the UK, he's Father Christmas.
I see. Yeah, that
Same
translates to a
character.
lot of languages as well. Father Papa Noel.
Right. Yeah, literally the translation. Same character. He does the same job. He lives in the North Pole. The elves help him. He has all the same things, the same appearance, but some people call him Father Christmas. So on your gift, if there's a little label, it says to Mark from Father Christmas.
Hmm.
Nowadays, though, British and American are starting to merge. I do hear Santa Claus
Hmm.
in the UK as well. So he's got two names now. My mum or the older generations would probably say Father Christmas.
Okay.
Maybe younger kids might say Santa or Santa Claus. I think it depends. But it's the same person.
Santa,
Mhm,
Santa. You can take pictures with Santa at the shopping mall. Santa Claus or Santa, Santa.
mhm. Yep, Father Christmas. Okay, so when do you open your gifts on Christmas?
So sometimes mom and dad let me and my siblings open one single gift on Christmas Eve. But I'll be honest, we usually ended up opening a little bit more because we just started to get really excited. But we usually save the big gifts for Christmas morning. So mom and dad, I mean, Santa brings us lots of gifts, right? So some gifts are bigger and more special than others. Sometimes little gifts, maybe like a new hairbrush or a new t shirt or something like that. Might be some small gifts on the side, and we can open those for Christmas Eve. But then we usually save the big gifts or the more expensive gifts or kind of the main gifts for Christmas morning so that we still have something that Santa brings us in the morning.
And it's
Santa, meaning probably my dad, but
Mhm, right. So you never questioned how the present got there before Christmas Day or before
well,
that you
those were usually they're written from, "Oh, Santa was really busy and he just decided to drop a couple of gifts off."
I
He
see.
was just so busy that he said it was okay to open the gifts a little early.
Nice, nice.
Santa said it was okay, Mark, okay?
He's very organized. Well,
He's
good for
very
him. Okay,
organized.
well done, Santa.
All right, so let's continue on. Now, Mark and I kind of differ here because for me, Christmas Eve and kind of a Christmas dinner might be more popular. But Mark celebrates more on the actual day of Christmas, the 25th. So, what do you eat on Christmas Day?
We tuck into a huge meal, roast turkey, heaps of veggies, and all the trimmings. So, Christmas dinner, we eat Christmas dinner around like 2 or 3 p.m.,
Yeah,
but
that
we
always
say dinner.
confused me.
Yeah. If you go to traditional English, there were 3 meals: breakfast, dinner, and tea. And some people still
Ah,
say that
that's
in the
right.
north of England. My mum is from Scotland, and she calls it breakfast, dinner, tea.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it should be. Well, it is in the south: breakfast, lunch, dinner. But we're using the traditional word for the second meal, which is dinner. So it's Christmas dinner at
Hmm.
2 or 3 o'clock. Some families do it a bit earlier. Our family does it at 2 or 3. And Christmas dinner is a big meal. People spend hours and hours in the kitchen getting everything ready. And when you have all the food in front of you, you're really hungry because you're not eating before Christmas dinner. You want to be as hungry as possible so you can eat as much as possible. We tuck into our Christmas dinner.
Very British.
Into, yeah, tuck into means eat it, and like eat it hungrily. You are hungry and you put a lot of food on your plate and you eat quite quickly. It means you're enjoying the meal. The meal's delicious. You tuck in. It's also something you can say if you bring food to the table and everyone is ready to eat. You can say, okay, tuck in, like start, let's eat, tuck in.
I thought
Uh,
we would use the word dig
right.
in, and that really
Mhm.
sounds like the same thing. It's like, okay, well, now we've got our knife and fork, and we're just really gonna dig
Mm,
in and shove it into our mouths.
right. So the main meat in a Christmas dinner is roast turkey. Um, my family actually does a roast chicken because we're a small family and we don't need so much meat, and it's actually easier and cheaper to buy chicken Christmas. Heaps of veggies. Heaps is lots and lots of vegetables. Heaps sounds like more than you can eat. And there's carrots, potatoes, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. There's lots and lots of different vegetables. and it comes with all the trimmings. That's more food. So the trimmings are the extra little pieces on a meal. A Christmas dinner has a lot of different ingredients and parts in it. All the trimmings are the little extra pieces that maybe you only eat on Christmas. For example, pigs in blankets, parsnips, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower cheese, gravy, stuffing. The table is covered in food, and some of it is only food that you eat during Christmas. So those extra things are the trimmings, all the trimmings. Okay. Traditionally, in the States, who brings the Christmas gifts to you?
So technically, it's Santa Claus, but
Yes.
and it might have been a dream, but I could have sworn that I saw my dad putting presents under the Christmas tree. But he swears it was Santa. He swears it was Santa. So I remember as a kid that I can't remember exactly. I can't be quite sure if it was my dad or if it was a dream or if it was Santa or if I'm just crazy.
Hmm.
So it might have been a dream. I'm not sure, but I could have sworn. I mean, that means at the time, I was so sure. What? I think I saw my dad putting Christmas presents under the tree. So I could have sworn. I was so sure that I saw my dad putting presents under the Christmas tree. But to this day, he swears it wasn't him, it was Santa. He even told me. I said, "Dad, I think I saw you putting Christmas presents under the tree." And he goes, "No, no, I don't. No, 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 no. It definitely
I,
wasn't me.
I was
Definitely
in
not.
bed. Mm.
I was sleeping. I'm a tired guy. I'm a father of 3 kids. Definitely wasn't me. I don't have as much work ethic as Santa Claus. Definitely wasn't me. So the way that I've kind of set up this grammar, it might have been a dream. Maybe it was a dream. I think it was a dream. But I could have sworn, meaning I was so sure that I saw my dad putting presents under the Christmas tree. But even now, to this day, he swears it was Santa and not him. So I believed him. I believed him. And of course, it's Santa Claus. No one else helps him. Just Santa Claus that brings the Christmas presents.
Mm. On the labels on your gifts, does it say from Santa?
It often says from Santa. Now, of course, our parents can also give us some gifts. That's why we have these little gifts. But usually, Christmas morning, the brand new gifts we've never seen before, those are usually brought by Santa.
Not from the garage. Uh, I I like I woke up once in the middle of the night and I saw my dad and he was bringing the stocking into my room and I was like, "Dad," and he panicked and he said, Santa, Father Christmas was downstairs. He gave me the stocking and now I'm bringing it to you. So, he was just here. Ah, you just missed him."
You just missed
So,
him.
and I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, but yeah, you can keep the joke running even as an adult. When you give another adult a gift, you can still say from Father Christmas or from Santa. And when you read the label, ha ha ha, you can still joke about it now. But probably kids around 7, 8, 9 start to figure out that Santa's handwriting looks very similar to mum and dad's handwriting. And they start to put it together. Maybe he's not there.
Now it sounds like Christmas Day for you after you open up all the gifts and you eat, that's probably, like, the biggest part. Like you said, it's all about the food, right? So do you eat a lot? Like, how much do you usually eat?
Mhm. Oh, yes, we eat a lot. We stuff ourselves silly and end up vegging on the sofa with our bellies full.
I can imagine all of the
Mhm.
monkeys laying on the couches.
Oh, yeah, that's us. So you may know stuffed, like, "Oof, I'm full, I'm stuffed, I can't eat dessert, I'm stuffed." You can stuff yourself by eating and eating and eating until you're really, really full. So usually we stuff ourselves. Everyone in the family eats so much. Oof. When you are so full that you can't move, you can veg on the sofa. So I veg, he veggies, she veggies. It's a verb. To veg on the sofa is to sit, feeling full and lazy and doing nothing. It's probably connected to couch potato. A couch potato is a lazy person. If I veg on the sofa, I'm also being lazy. I'm being a vegetable that doesn't move for a long time. So sometimes after the Christmas meal, I just want to veg out in front of the TV. And sometimes we veg on the sofa and watch films all day. It's nice. How about you? After you've opened all your presents, what do you do for the rest of the day?
Well, since my family's not really big on cooking, after we open gifts, we find a restaurant that's open and go out for our Christmas lunch. Now, kind of like I mentioned, I think maybe the reason that we love to spend that Christmas Eve having Christmas dinner or going to a religious service is because we almost, we pretty much just a month before we celebrated Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is kind of it's at the end of November, and Thanksgiving is a time of thanks, but it's also a time to get together with our family. And basically, we eat some of the same foods, we do the same things. So it feels like we're just repeating Thanksgiving again. So maybe the reason why Christmas Eve is becoming so much more important is because it's at night with the bright lights. You get to turn on the Christmas tree, you have the cozy fire. It's nice and cool and cold. And especially where I'm from in Texas, it doesn't usually get too cold. And in the daytime, it's actually quite warm. So by the time we wake up and open gifts, it's starting to get warm again. So it doesn't really feel very Christmassy. It doesn't feel very festive. And because we're already kind of lazy from doing a bunch of stuff, my family's not really big on cooking. That's a nice way to say that my family doesn't want to cook. Okay. We've already had Thanksgiving. We've already been spending all of our time getting gifts over Christmas, over December for the past 3 weeks. I think we're just tired of the whole thing. So we just want to go out to eat for that day, and we have to find a restaurant that's open. We often end up at a Chinese restaurant or a place that we've booked before, and then we'll have something like a Christmas lunch with the family and then just nap the rest of the day.
Mhm. That's surprising. It's surprising to me that you can find an open restaurant
Mm,
on Christmas Day because
yeah.
in the UK, everything is closed. All shops, pubs, restaurants, supermarkets too.
Mhm.
Nothing is open on Christmas Day. That's the one day where definitely
Mm,
nothing is open. It may be like petrol stations and stuff, but yeah, for the most part, you are expected to eat at home. You could try going to a restaurant, but they're probably all closed on
mhm.
that one day. They're open the day after, and they're open on Christmas Eve,
Okay.
but Christmas Day, yeah, I think it might be hard to find a restaurant that's open
Mhm.
there. Yeah, the tradition is to eat at home and have a big Christmas dinner. So, yeah, the restaurant's all closed. They don't have any customers.
Right. And so finally, what else do you do for the rest of the day?
It's the perfect time to watch some telly or a classic Christmas film, just relaxing and enjoying each other's company. I've used this word in a few previous episodes. Telly, TV. A British phrase for TV is telly. You sit on the sofa and watch telly, turn on the telly, turn off the telly. There's nothing good on telly. And one Christmas tradition in the UK is Christmas films. There are the same films that we always show on Christmas Day across many different channels. Some of them are Christmas stories, like they happen in winter and they have romantic happy endings. Some of these have nothing to do with Christmas. They're about World War II or Harry Potter, but they have become Christmas films. They are always on Christmas Day. So that has become another tradition. British families will sit down and turn on the telly, and there will be some classic Christmas film that we've all seen 100 times before, but we'll watch it again because it's the tradition.
Because it's Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. So for you and your family, what would you say is the main thing?
For us, really, it's mostly Christmas Eve. I would say that Christmas Eve through Christmas morning, we are spending time with our family. I would say that Thanksgiving is probably a time for our bigger family, so grandparents, aunts, and uncles. And Christmas is really for the close family, just my mom, dad, and my siblings, my brother and sister. So it is a good time to get together for everyone. We have usually the meal on Christmas Eve and the lunch together, and then we share all of our gifts together. So that's probably the main takeaway for Christmas for us at my house when I was a kid.
Hmm, okay. Yeah, in the UK, Christmas is the whole family. Like you said on Thanksgiving, it can be the extended family. So aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody shows up. So there's a lot of pressure on the host family to make a lot of food because you could have 15 or 20 people there.
Mhm.
It's a big event. And in the UK, that's the only opportunity. Really? During the year, Christmas is maybe the only day where we do that because on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, we don't come together as a family. But
Mhm.
Christmas, everyone's invited. In my case, it's the only time I see some uncles and some aunts and some cousins. It's the one time I see them per year because they live in a different city or quite far away. So on Christmas, you invite everybody. There's kind of an idea that no one should be alone on Christmas. So
Yeah,
even
definitely.
even if it's a weird uncle that you don't really like, it's Christmas. You have to invite him. So yeah,
It's Christmas. It's
it's
Christmas.
Christmas. No one should be alone on Christmas.
So, Merry Christmas, everyone. We hope that you have a safe and healthy and happy holiday. Whatever you celebrate, whatever part of the world that you are in, we are celebrating our own Christmas time. So, we will see you back for a brand new episode very soon.
Hmm. And one thing, if you do celebrate Christmas, tell us what you do. Tell us your traditions, your customs, because I know it's really different in different countries. It's the same holiday, but I'm always interested in how other cultures and countries celebrate it. So maybe you can use some of the language in this episode. Yeah, tell us what you guys do, and we'll read them and reply like always. Thank you,
And if
guys.
and if you're looking for the PDF transcript so you can
Yeah.
follow along with everything that we were saying today in today's lesson, become a member of High Level Listening. You can join, and every week, every episode, we give you all the PDF transcripts for this episode and all the previous ones, plus all the ones in the future. So you can join us and become a member. And we'll see you very soon. Thank you, everybody.
Bye bye.